Hi, I'm Jeremy, and I'm still on this thread talking about bots and RPA and continuous improvement. And I want to dig into what a CI professional should think about when it comes to implementing a new bot and the change management that goes along with it. So let's get into it. Once your bot is developed and ready for implementation, there are varying degrees of change management you may need to prepare your team for. Now, we discussed in the last video the difference between unattended and attended automation. For unattended automation, where the bot is working independently, the change management is minimal. Typically, in this case, a slice of work is just being removed from the human workers who historically have performed it. So there's typically very little change management needed for that team. And the primary responsibility now is to monitor the result of the bot's work, like you would for an employee, to ensure performance is meeting target and to handle any exceptions the bot couldn't work. Exceptions are either planned or sometimes unplanned bits of work that, for some reason or another, the bot couldn't do. This may be intentional, or sometimes things happen and the bot is just unsuccessful in completing that piece of work. So a human worker will have to pick those up and do those. So you'll need to be attentive to that. Over time, you might find ways to enhance the bot to perform more of those exceptions themselves, um, improving the output and that sort of thing for the bot. But it's rare to hit 100% of the work 100% of the time. So unattended automations need less change management and more just management after the bot is implemented. Attended automations and space-time shift automations, where the bot is working collaboratively with a human, require more change management. And this is because we're redesigning how the current process works by introducing a bot into the steps. Therefore, the worker's experience of the process will be different. So hopefully, earlier, you directly involve these people in the 5 tests we discussed. Is the process reliable, stable, lean, well-timed, standardized, as well as in the development and testing of the bot so that they could help inform the improvements, the standards, and the experience of the bot along the way. CI professionals like you and me, as change management experts, should think through the change management lifecycle when supporting teams planning for automation. I've noticed that at times, if a human worker has the option to collaborate with a bot or not, or just kind of keep doing it the old way, that sometimes they opt for the old way. Thinking through your stages of change management is pretty important here, and finding ways to appeal to the head and the heart, as well as make the path to transition as easy and inclusive as possible, is really going to help you. Now, this isn't a video about change management and change leadership approaches or styles, so I'm making some assumptions here that you're familiar with those concepts, but implementing automation is the same as implementing any other countermeasure or process change. So the principles of change management and change leadership apply the same here in automation as they do in any of those other classic CI efforts. One last observation to share with you about implementing bots is recognize that bots, these digital assistants, they require maintenance over time. As processes change or the user interface of an application changes or anything really, the bot needs updated, just like a human worker would need retrained on any changes in their workflow. For this reason, I like to think of bots as like a digital workforce that still needs cared for across time, attended to, and not forgotten. This also goes for process improvement. For example, if a downstream process needs something to change about an upstream process that a bot is performing, we're going to have to crack open the process that the bot owns and potentially reconfigure it. It's not off limits. The automated processes are being performed by a digital workforce. Someone still needs to own that process and monitor that workforce and intervene when it makes sense. I love this image from an article in the March 2018 issue of the New York Times. Now, it's about fake Instagram accounts, but when I look at this image, I like to think of it as the leader out front managing the process and the outcomes of the work, as well as the human and digital workforce that performs it, all mixed together. Okay, so once your bot is installed and running and the change management has leveled out, as a CI professional, you have some standard wrap-up responsibilities to consider. The first is to measure impact. Impact likely can be measured at two stages along the way. First, what was the improvement of the process over baseline strictly from the process improvement efforts the team may have taken in preparation for the bot? Remember when you were first examining the process and maybe you straightened some things out, standardized parts along the way, or maybe even cut out some unnecessary steps? What did that yield in terms of improvement impact? Impact, of course, can be measured not only in time and efficiency, but also dollar impacts, process KPI impact, and maybe some intangibles such as employee or customer satisfaction. I like knowing this impact prior to the bot's impact in case we ever have to shut the bot down or in the change management efforts speak to the extended value that the bot was able to bring us over the initial value that we got from improvement work. So then secondly, we can measure what further improvement the bot was able to deliver on those measures. Knowing the value of the improvement and automation work, you can help the team and its leaders in that area do a few things. One, you can help them plan and account for how to use the reclaimed capacity. Now that there's more time freed up on the team, what do they hope to do with it? What new work can be accomplished, or how can the team expand their scope any further, or could they further improve quality of the work that they do? Do productivity targets need adjusted? How does the leader plan to realize and apply this newfound capacity? Second, you can help the leader recognize the improvement work toward any goals or targets that exist for CI work on that team. Hopefully, all of your teams have goals like this. You can also help them call out the improvement, that improvement work for team or individual recognition. And then lastly, you can help the team establish a new process performance baseline in terms of cycle time or quality to track against for future improvement. Thanks for listening. Subscribe to stay connected on more videos about RPA and CI work, and share your thoughts in the chat. Until next time.